Okay, everyone, so it's time for me to go over my meal plan with you to share it if you're interested in following it along, or if maybe it's just helpful to you to start thinking about what you want to make for the upcoming week. So if you haven't heard one of these meal planning episodes before, basically what I do is I just go through starting with this upcoming Saturday, which is going to be June 13th, and I share with you what I'm making for the week every day. I will let you know the recipes that I'm making. If they're located on a website, I will give you that website and the name of the recipe so that you can search it. And I also do post them on the Facebook page. I don't post every recipe every single week because they often rotate. So if one's already been posted on the Facebook page recently, then I won't repost it, but I will post any new ones for ones that do have like an actual website you can go to get the recipe. So another thing I just want to point out is you might notice some things that might repeat. Maybe something I had on the menu plan for last week could possibly show up in this week's meal plan again. I apologize for that. It's not intentional, but that just happens sometimes when life changes happen. Like for example, on this Sunday, we went out on a really long hike, and we usually don't order out food, but we got home and it was late. We were really tired, and my husband said he wanted to order Chinese food, so I was like, all right, let's order Chinese food, because I just did not feel like cooking. It was like it was the end of the weekend. I was tired, and so the meal that I was supposed to make that night got shifted into the next week's meal plan. So that does happen sometimes. So that's why you might occasionally hear a meal this week that was in last week's meal plan. And then just to give you another piece of information, if you haven't heard these before also, and I actually do have a full episode on this, on meal planning. I think it's called like Simple Meal Planning on a Budget. I think that's the name of it, something to that effect. But what I do is a very simple meal rotation to build my meal plan. So basically by the time the week comes, my meal plan is already put together. And I use an app called Mealboard. It's not a sponsor or anything. It's just something that I like to use because it makes it really easy. It stores all your recipes, and you could just place them on the day you want to make them, and then you can create your shopping list from it. So what I do is I have like every single well, not every single Monday, but like every other Monday we have hamburgers. So like say it's Monday and we have hamburgers today. Tomorrow morning, when I forward the calendar, like forward a day in the meal planning app, I'll immediately go 2 weeks ahead and put hamburgers on that day. Tacos we have every other Tuesday. So as soon as the Tuesday passes, I go 2 weeks ahead and I put tacos on that day, and so on. So I have like a really simple rotation. I do stick other things in there periodically to mix it up, and then when it's like seasonal changes, I'll start, like now I'm doing more grilled stuff, more salads, things like that. But I do try and keep like the basic rotation going because it just makes it so easy to put the meal plan together, and it's made such a huge improvement in meal planning for me because I used to spend so much time stressing out over what I was going to make. So anyway, that's just kind of to give you some upfront information. So let me share with you what we're making this upcoming week. So Saturday we are having chimichangas. I know I'm saying that wrong, and I've said that last time. I don't know which is the right way to say it, but you know what I mean. The recipe that I'm using is on allrecipes.com, and it's called chicken chimichangas with sour cream sauce. I do not make it with a sour cream sauce. I just use it for the basic filling, and I follow it otherwise. I do cook them in the air fryer. I believe this has instructions on how to make them in the like in a frying pan or bake them. I think it had baking time. I forget, but anyway, I just looked up how to bake them, how to cook them in the air fryer, and that's what we do. So I'm having those, and I'm also doing for my daughter who doesn't eat meat, I'm doing the same thing where you basically put like the filling in and folds up the tortilla, and then I air fry it. But for her, I'm going to be doing refried beans and cheese in the little folded up tortilla. And then I'm also just going to do like a bagged salad with that, one of those little salads that you buy that's just like pre-made. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing pork fried rice. And that is because I actually have some pork left over that I froze. That was from a, oh, what the heck is it called? An Instant Pot pork tenderloin. I couldn't think of the name of the meat. I had made an Instant Pot pork tenderloin. I think it was maybe last week or so. And we had too much left over, so I froze the meat. And then what I'll do is I'll just defrost it and cut it up in like little bite-sized pieces, and just basically just do like the rice, some eggs, some vegetables, and put the pork in it. And what I'll do for my daughter that doesn't eat meat is I'll split it first before I add the pork in, and she'll just have like the rice, eggs, and vegetables. So that's going to be for Sunday. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, this meal plan is primarily dinners. If you haven't listened before, I always do mention that. I don't plan for lunches. We usually do lunch meat or leftovers or frozen pizza or something like that. Lunches just kind of fall into place. Occasionally I'll plan for a lunch meal, but for the most part I really just plan for dinners. So anyway, so that's Sunday. Monday, we're doing hot dogs with home fried potatoes in the air fryer. And we do those once a month. We make kind of like Italian hot dogs with the potatoes. And the potato recipe, that one I actually don't have an actual recipe for. I just checked to see if there was like a website link to it. But basically all I do is I just take potatoes and peppers and onions and chop them up, and I toss them with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. And I just cook them in the air fryer, and they come out really good, and it goes really good on top of the hot dog with the you know, like on the bun with the potatoes and peppers and onions on top, and make like a little Italian hot dog. And then I know this doesn't seem to go with Italian hot dog meal, but on the side I was going to make a Mexican bean salad, and that recipe is from allrecipes.com. That's really good. It's like, it's almost similar to like I don't know if you've ever had, what the heck is it called? It's like a dip. Oh, I think they call it cowboy caviar sometimes. It's kind of similar like that. It's got like black beans, kidney beans, cannellini beans, chopped up bell peppers, frozen corn kernels, and then it's got like a dressing made of like olive oil, wine vinegar, lime juice, all that kind of stuff. And then it's got salt, sugar, garlic powder, or this actually calls for crushed garlic, but I usually just use garlic powder, and so on. So it's kind of just like a nice a bean salad that you almost could kind of use as like a dip in a way too, sort of like a real heavy dip with like tortilla chips. But for whatever reason I decided to make that as a side dish for the Italian hot dogs. So that's that. Oh, and my daughter, I forgot to mention, my daughter who's vegetarian, she's going to be eating that night homemade black bean veggie burgers, which actually kind of goes better with the Mexican bean salad. But that is from allrecipes.com also. Homemade black bean veggie burgers. They're actually really easy to make, and they come out really good, and you just bake them in the oven. So that's Monday. Great, my dogs are barking in the background. I hope you can't hear them. Okay, so then Tuesday is Taco Tuesday again. So we do tacos every other Tuesday, and then we do Chipotle night on the other night, which if you've heard before, I don't order Chipotle, I make it. But anyway, we'll get to that when we're in next week's episode. So we're doing tacos. We're doing regular tacos. There's really no recipe for that. And then I'm also making for my daughter Instant Pot lentil tacos, which is basically like a taco filling with made with lentils. And that cooks right in the Instant Pot. Obviously, it's called Instant Pot lentil tacos, but it's really pretty good. And you can actually freeze it too in portions, and then just kind of defrost it when you need it. So she'll be having that. Like I said, I don't have a recipe for the tacos, but you know, I think everybody knows how to make tacos. So that's for Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we're going to attempt to have fried flounder. I have been putting this on my list for a few different times over the course of the last month or so. And it seems that every time I go to BJ's, they don't have any fried flounder, or not fried flounder. They don't have any frozen flounder. And I really liked their frozen flounder because it's like frozen in individual portions, and it's just easy to deal with, and it's really good. But they never have it. So if I go to the grocery store and they don't have it, I'll just probably last minute figure out something else to buy to swap out for that. And that we're just having with wild rice, like boxed, you know, like wild rice. And green beans, like fresh green beans, I cook them up in the air fryer. You could also just saute them up. So there's really no recipe for that. The fried flounder, I basically just bread it with egg and breadcrumbs and fry it. So no recipe for that one. On Thursdays, we usually do a soup or breakfast for dinner. So this Thursday is slow cooker chicken taco soup, and that is from allrecipes.com, and that's really good because you really just put everything in the crock pot in the morning. It's like canned chili beans, black beans, whole kernel corn. It calls for a bottle of beer. I think the last time I made it, I didn't actually have a bottle of beer, so I just put the equivalent amount of water, and it was fine. There's plenty of flavor in there. It's got like diced tomatoes. So now that I see that, that might be a challenge, because the last few times I've gone food shopping, they haven't had diced tomatoes for some reason. Something with the all the weird stuff with the food with coronavirus and everything. I haven't been able to get those, so that might be a problem, but we'll find out. And it's got taco seasoning in it. And I think what I wound up doing last time, which actually was pretty good, because my daughter, like I always mention, doesn't eat meat. One of my daughters doesn't eat meat. So this calls for chicken breast, and usually when I've made it, I put the chicken breast in it and I let it cook all day in there, and then I shred it apart at the end. But I wanted her to be able to eat the soup too. So I think what I did last time is I cooked it with everything else except for the chicken, and then I just boiled the chicken and shredded it up, and then anyone who wanted chicken just kind of added it to their soup, and then whoever didn't, which most of it was just my one daughter, just ate it without the chicken. But it actually was really good because the chicken was nice and moist. It wasn't like a lot of times it dries out when you let it cook in the crock pot the entire day like that. So that's just a tip if you want to try maybe not cooking it in, or maybe cooking it later, maybe putting it in the middle of the day if you're around. I know a lot of times when you use a crock pot, you're probably not home if you're like kind of setting it and going out for the day, but a lot of us are home now anyway. So that's that. And then I'm just doing grilled cheese on the side with the soup. Usually whenever I do a soup, I do grilled cheese also. Just in case someone doesn't like that type of soup that I'm making, or my son who doesn't like pretty much any soup, so he can always just have a grilled cheese sandwich. Then the last meal for the week is Friday. I'm just doing grilled chicken. I like to use the what the heck is the name brand? They do the steak, Montreal. I like to use the Montreal chicken seasoning, and I think McCormick makes it, I guess, but it's just called Montreal chicken. And I put that on the chicken and like marinate it with a little bit of olive oil and some white vinegar, and just grill it, and it comes out really good. And then I'm just doing with that classic macaroni salad, which is also from allrecipes.com. It's really just like a simple like elbows with like a mayonnaise and white vinegar, sugar, salt type of dressing on it. And then I'm also going to make carrot fries again, because I made these a few weeks back and they were really, really good. I made these in the air fryer. You can make them in the oven also, but basically you just cut up carrots, like fresh carrots, in these little strips that are like French fry shapes. It kind of almost tastes like sweet potato fries in a way, but they were really good. So the recipe for that is called carrot fries with ketchupy ranch. I didn't actually do the ketchupy ranch part. We just ate them as is, but it does have like, basically it just says to mix ketchup with ranch dressing, and then you make like a little dipping sauce for it. And that was from foodnetwork.com. So that's it for this week. I realized a lot of the recipes I had on here for this week don't actually have a recipe, but I will go back and check just to see if there's any that I do need to post on the website. So I hope this was helpful to you if you're following along to make the same meals as us, or if maybe it's just helpful to give you some ideas of what you might want to make during the week. And that's the reason I do this. Hopefully I can help make your meal planning easier. So I'd love to hear your feedback. You can reach me at facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. That's all one word. You could message me. You could leave a comment on the page, like the page. That'd be really awesome. There's also a private listeners group that I'm trying to build members in. There's a link to that group on the Facebook page, or if you'd like, you can go directly to facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life and submit a request to join. I'd really love to have you join. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.